Hey, welcome, Elena. Hey, JB, good to see you guys.
Good to see
Hey,
you
Matt.
too, Matt.
Hey, and thank you all for whoever else is joining us on this live webinar. This is a webinar between strIQ and CS Outsource. We've got a really good webinar lined up for you guys today titled The Hidden Cost of Doing It All, Why STR Operators Are Outsourcing Operations in 2026. And this, honestly, this kind of hits tried and true to my heart, as JB and Elena know. I've had a few conversations with them, and I've got 5 or 6 properties now, and I am now in the needing to outsource my operation. So here in a minute, I'm going to be telling you guys exactly what I'm doing and the problems I'm facing, and why CS Outsource actually might be solving my problem here pretty soon. But before we do that, again, I'm Matt Sanderson. I am the founder and CEO of strIQ, also known as strIQ. We are the Zillow for Airbnb investors, so we help you find properties extremely fast and with confidence, and we help optimize your revenue to hit that top 10% in any market with any property. So if you need help, check it out. The data will help show you exactly how you can get to the top of in your market or for your property. So JB, Elena, would y'all mind doing a quick intro and then we'll dive in?
Absolutely. Hey, everyone. I'm really
Uh-oh, Elena, did he cut out? Leslie?
Gotta love technology. We tested this beforehand, I promise, and it worked. There they are.
Okay, there they are. Elena, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, maybe you do the intro because I think it's frozen on JB.
Okay. Alrighty. So this is Elena. I'm working with CS Outsource since 2023. I'm working as an operations manager and working in different capacities. Manage the backup team, SOPs and documentation department, take care of our training team, and also the backup team to provide the backup for our main VAs. And I handle the in-house dedicated VAs as well. That's pretty much what I do at the company. Over to JB.
Hey, JB, I think you're back, but it keeps cutting out a little bit. Well, the show must go on. So, hey, we'll continue on. And then, JB, hopefully your internet will do a little bit better here in a second. So, hey, let's dive in. So, why does this matter? Well, let me tell you. So here are my properties, starting from the first one at the very top left, going to the right, and then down to the bottom, and then going to the right. It's the order of the properties that I bought with my first one back in 2020 to now my 6th one. As of, we just launched this property with the pool in Conroe, Texas, Lake Conroe, Texas, literally over 4th of July. So these are some really fun properties. They're great cash flowing assets. They have huge tax write-offs, wealth building. And my favorite part is memories of all these. And so short-term rentals are amazing, as y'all know. However, if you do not have the good enough systems in place, they can become a little bit of a nightmare. And so you can outsource a lot of your time and leverage your time using tools like Hospitable to really handle the communications between a lot of your properties, Price Labs for revenue management. There's all sorts of ways you could do it, but you still have to connect with your cleaners to facilitate the cleanings, transactions on Venmo or credit card, however you're doing the transactions to even pay your contractors or your cleaners or your handyman. When something breaks, like an appliance, like we had a washing machine go out at one of our properties, the one with the fire pit. And now I got to call an appliance person to go fix it, And so you can automate a lot of this stuff, but there's still like these little tasks that just seem to add up that just are like, it's not that hard, but when they all add up, it just takes that mental energy. And so just know, like, yes, you can do it all on your own, and that's fine. And honestly, that's probably the way to do it when you first start. But over time, especially when you get to probably like 3 to 6 properties, you're going to face a point where there's just going to be a lot of these little things that add up that just distract you from what you need to be focused on. And so what we're going to be talking about is that today, of why not only you should outsource, but why I should outsource. I'm doing a little bit of it, but at the very end of this, I told JB and Elena, I think I will officially hire them today to go help me go outsource more of my time. And one of my biggest problems is sometimes I have not been able to do this yet because the thought of hiring a VA and then figuring out what they should be doing has been kind of challenging me mentally of why I haven't done it personally. And I don't know if many of y'all have been there. And so, JB, Elena, be thinking about that during your presentation because I know there's value. The costs are very reasonable. And so maybe you guys can help solve my problem. And by solving my problem, you help solve a lot of other people's problems. So I'll let y'all take it away from here.
Absolutely.
Great. Alina, would you like to go first or should I just start?
You can talk to
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, the thing is, just like Matt mentioned here, what to do with my VA. The thing is, whenever you're in any business, the operations, slowly ramp up to a point, they start draining your energy. And you start as a first employee of your own business, say 4 or 5 in the morning, and before you even realize it, you're out of your energy still at 8 or 9 in the night. You are kind of still thinking, oh, I did not do anything productive during the day. So operational and management, when they merge, they drain the energy out of you. And this is where we kind of chime in, helping people to first of all sort out what they need to delegate, how they can onboard a VA, and then start ramping up. So, how we do that is first of all having a general chit chat like this one. This is a webinar, but whenever I connect with any of, or we from any person from my team connect with any client, we just try to listen what they have to say. We never ask any stupid question, or we don't have like a thousand questions to a form that they need to fill out before we even start sourcing them. We just hear what they are struggling with, and once we get those pain points, it's that point that can help us actually to go into our talent pool, re-screen the pre-screened applicants who have proven experiences, or we have personally tested them out on particular tasks internally to ensure that are they able to do that thing or not. So once we understand this, we handpick the people and not just throw them to business owners just like Matt or anyone who has joined us on this webinar to figure out on their own who would be the best fit. We try to act as advocates on these interview calls where the clients connect with the applicant. And the fun part is many clients that I connect VAs with are experiencing that whole situation for the first time. So sometimes they're preparing questions that are given to them by ChatGPT or Claude or these AI tools, and they start going through those questions. And in that moment, I tell them, hey, just be real. Tell the person what do you want them to do, and I'll observe the body language and see if the person is actually, understanding from up here that what they're expected to do. Secondly, the slide actually shows that the physical office model is now, in the past three years, I've seen it literally with my own eyes. People have stopped building offices. People like Matt, my boss, Matthew Matros, everyone is working from their laptop or cell phones. So things are at that level where having that idea that I need to wake up, have my breakfast, get ready, drive up to a specific building or space where I need to get people, see if everyone is there on their seats, first of all. Secondly, is all the equipment working fine? Third, is the air conditioning or if there is, any weather alert that it should be aware of if someone is on their paternity leave or maternity leave or anything like that.
Hey,
So,
what's funny about all that is, so I don't know if you knew this, JB, but for the past 13 years, I've been an office broker, commercial real estate broker. And so I've literally witnessed this as my main job before strike happened before my eyes. So like 2020 changed everything. It was already kind of trending that way, hybrid structure, but nothing really kind of like set the domino for everything to fall. But office buildings are like 50% vacant everywhere. Even though the stats say that there's like 20% vacancy or whatever, like occupancy, actual people in the office is like 50% almost everywhere, which shows remote is where things are trending.
and just to add to this particular point, Pat, in my area and my neighboring country and the Philippines, you'll see not the offices. It's now the same buildings turning into co-working spaces. People having remote jobs, all they need is peace, good internet, strong power backup and whatnot, and just be there, do their job, have some good time, and go home.
100%.
If their their home circumstances, the situation they're living in is not helpful to grow, they need a co-working space. But
100%.
now when you wake up in the morning and you turn on your laptop, you're in your office. That's it.
Yeah.
And centralizing things on your phone, on your computer, everything is now turning into a situation, especially with AI. I've seen this change like in past 3 years. Things that would require multiple people to handle, like for example, guest communication. You are dead tired, you desperately want to sleep, but still there's a clock ticking in your mind. There is a guest in that particular apartment or condominium or anywhere, and they had some issue with plumbing. I'm not sure if, and that scareful thought that if you do not respond or you do not take care of them in time, this will ruin your experience, right? And taking down a review is proving to be the greatest challenge at this point. So, fast approach, people are available, skilled resources are available, AI is now learning, and the human intervention is, just going out the window. Now, I was not expecting this fast of change, but still it's happening.
I know, it's wild.
Yes.
So the thing is, we at CS Outsource, we're not trying to use, we're not solely relying on the AI or, the human workforce. We're trying to come up with in fact, we have succeeded in come up with a package where the team, the resources that they onboard, we train them to use the AI tools smartly. You can hand it to a kid, ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, whichever you want to use, or any particular software. They might just waste their time, posting stupid questions, not getting anywhere. But when you actually train a person of a specific trade, that hey, go in and type the biggest challenge that you've ever faced, it's then that you start seeing, oh, I knew this could be solved one way, but now I've got like 15 ways to do it. And then you come up to your client, not with a question, hey, Matt, a property just broke their HVAC system, or the pool is not working. Now you go back to Matt Sanders saying that, hey, boss, I've seen this problem. This is the pool that's causing the issue. I've seen the reviews. This is the solution. Should I go for it? So you see,
Amazing.
less of interaction, more accountability and response. And at the same time, when you empower your remote staff and you free them that you don't have to go through like 15 managers or 10 team leads, or you have to consult ABC person before coming to your boss. This gap of communication is short. It's not there anymore. So when you hear first-hand interaction, this empowers your VA, and when then they talk to your guests, they talk with confidence, telling them, "Hey, I got you covered. I know there's a problem, but don't worry, I'm fixing it." So that's what I've seen, and it has drastically changed how we used to look at the guest communication or vendor management part.
Yeah, and I'll say on this, the number one trend I've seen in my personal reviews with my 5-6 properties, sadly, has been they love the properties, but my communication, despite me having hospitable with automated messaging, there's automated messaging handles a big bulk of it, like 80%, but there's still that 20% where people are like, hey, do y'all have a propane or a charcoal grill, or hey, where are the pickleball paddles located, or like these random questions. And honestly, the past 2 months I've like let a lot of that communication slip through the cracks, and so like they still have a great experience, but because I was not quick with my responses, and sometimes not even responsive at all,
Mhm.
it impacted the reviews. I know 1 or 2 of them particularly, I got like a 4-star review because I just didn't respond. So anyway, I'm letting y'all hear a little bit authentic talk behind. Been so busy building, strike, I haven't focused on my properties as much. So anyway, that's a very good point, that guest communication and speed to responses, accuracy too, but like the speed it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's
I don't.
important. I just want to add something here, JB. What I believe, having a remote team that works around the clock for you, this gives you more confidence in, you don't actually need to do the basic things, the guest communication. You're not getting back to the guest yourself. You have a team who's there working remote 24 hours for you and getting back to the guest. The guest loves fast replies, not in the best business hours because you don't know where they are coming from. So they can text you from anywhere in the world. And then they're texting and they're getting a reply in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of their message. They think that okay, there is a human sitting there available for me to answer of my queries. Can be anything on the property that attracts them. They're gonna be asking you, okay, is this available? And this actually helps you to get best reviews out of it. If you reply faster, every guest who's coming at your property would definitely leave a review by saying the host was super responsive. The host
Hmm.
communication was amazing. The host has a very good communication. He's getting back to me faster as more than I expected. And these are the reviews I've got many times in the past. And it's because the team is there. Even if they don't have the answer to something, trust me, they're gonna be reply back in within 5 minutes saying, I'll get back to you, I'm on it. So they know someone is there looking at the things.
I would agree. I think, the property needs to be amazing itself, but
Yes.
the experience of the communications I've learned recently is like becoming way more critical. It's like booking a hotel and having concierge available, and like you know that luxury stay at a concierge hotel where they're like, how are you doing, here's recommendations, blah, blah, blah. Like there's good flow versus like
Yes.
someone you can't even get a hold of, and when you pick up the phone and it's just annoying. So it's it's critically important, and I'm at fault for that. So don't do what I do, guys. Learn from CS Outsource.
It's the thing is that with humans, I'm not entirely sure about everyone who's on this webinar. The thing is, we humans are yet to evolve to a point where we actually don't want to speak to a human, rather speak to an AI bot who has all the right answers. I still want someone to, because the nuances of communication, human communication, is something which AI might evolve to understand down the line, but not right now. If I have been on a 10-hour flight, I had a heck of a time hailing a cab, reaching out to a particular spot, and it's all dark. My family, my kids are yelling. I'm tired and I'm just flushed in. At some point, I can't recall that or can't find that email that had my smart lock code. If I just pick up a phone and call someone, and someone says, "Hey, this is JB. How can I help?" You must be Dave. You're expected to check in. It's quite late. Can I help you with anything? And when the Dave starts speaking, I can understand the frustration in their tone of voice. That understanding kind of gives you, as long as humans are there, you have to understand that the nuance in their tone when they're coming from. And if you can take care of that, that one single moment is bound. Even the property comes up with a lot of issues, still they'll understand that someone on the phone was very friendly and understanding. So that's something that helps. And one other thing is the cost of maintaining all that. Every business is made or built to make money. The lower the overhead costs, the greater you have the profits, right? So I try to hire people who are based out of US. Even remote staff, the hiring cost is around like 30 to 40,000 plus per year. And then you have to take care of their I'm not trying to undermine the power of local people, local talent. It's just that for a person who started off with one property, two or three, the cost is not justified. And eventually you'll certainly need people who understand your area a lot better than someone like me who's sitting halfway around the world, right? I might have visited US for like ton of times, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure about how the area actually looks like where your property is. So down the line, you might need someone who sounds local, who can understand the nuances, who knows the area way better than a remote person can ever understand, regardless how many videos or how many walkthroughs you give them. But to start your business with, lower the overhead expenses, capable support can give you a stronger boost. And trust me when I say this, I've heard it like more than 50 to 60 times when the client simply said to me, JB, can you help me win my life back? Because I'm just dead tired. And I can see the frustration on that point. And when we try to get them the right resources, it takes time, but the right resources, they're happy.
Hey, and one thing I'll say about that, people when they hear, they hear a lot of gurus and stuff on YouTube and whatever, like about short-term rentals and just how easy it is and all this stuff, which it can be easy for sure. And it can be lucrative. It's way more lucrative, what I've seen, than other normal residential long-term investing. But there's a reason it's active investing for the tax code versus passive, because this is it's active, right? Like you're
Yeah.
communicating with guests, you're doing these things. So anyway, the whole goal and the key is knowing it's active and it is a job. How much of that can you outsource to people like this? So keep that in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what we try to do here with our clients, whenever they connect with us, just like I said in the start, that I need to listen to what they're going through. And one mistake that I've seen happen over the time is clients try to hire resources in the most or just before the busy season. That's not a good strategy. Even if you hire a local person, they'll take time to learn what you've built. You know your business, it's all up here. You know it like the back of your hand. But the other person, they'll have like a ton of questions. So whenever I connect with the client, I tell them, hey, you onboard a good virtual assistant in your low season, because this season also has like seasonality and whatnot. So when it's the lowest traffic time, this is where you add that person, and you do not just offload everything overnight. Have them start with guest comms, vendor management, slowly ramping them up task after task after task. And trust me, if you go this way, 2 weeks is maximum time you're ever going to need to understand if the person is the right fit for you. I'm not going to say every VA we get hired is 100% success, open and transparent. There have been situations where the client had like 3 to 4 assessments for the VA to go through before they onboarded. But when they actually started working together, it's then it kind of blew up and out of proportion, and the client said, "Hey, it's not gonna work." So you start ramping slowly, task after task. This is how you're investing your time, and the ROI is in the high season. You're not afraid of what's gonna fall apart because you've prepared your soldier. And the as all you guys can see the slide up on the screen, different regions in the world. You're not bound by the Philippines only, or Pakistan, or India, or Bangladesh, or Latin America, Egypt, Morocco. Now you're getting talent from around the world. Like now, my talent pool is 70% Latin American staff and 30% and increasing Egyptians, Moroccans, Pakistanis. Of course, there are set criteria that we hire people for, but now it's changing. So if you're worried about your VA dozing off to sleep when when you're expecting them to be at their highest of their energy, you've got Latin American side. If you need someone to stay alert in your downtime, you've got Pakistani talent who can stay alert in their morning hours. If you want someone to take care of your evening time, Filipinos, they're there. Nice people on planet Earth. So this concept of high energy input all the time is doable. It's not like impossible thing to have on your team. Alina, would you like to take this up?
Over to you, JB. I'll chime in.
Okay. So the staffing cost, you guys can see like it's 3,000 to 4,800 local talent or something like that, and 1,500 25. Let me give you two live examples from my past experience. Excuse me. So I have a client. I can't name them for obvious reasons, but they wanted an operational manager. The label still says VA, but they literally said, JB, get me a operations manager, literally manager. And I said, okay. I went on a hunt. I found them a person. Unfortunately, the situations internally in the company were not very favorable for that person to work with them or continue working with them. She went through a lot of stress, which affected her health. So she parted ways. That woman costed them 2,200 US dollars per month. And now, when she's not working with them, Alina can tell you exactly what they
Yes,
say, and they've literally offered, Alina, JB, we're happy to pay that same person $4,000 a month. Please, can you get her back?
yes. I
Because
had a
she was
long
good.
call with that client, I can tell.
So there you go. Good with systems, very good, operational sense. She might not be the best person on tech front, but she knew how to actually navigate through the whole process. Another client came up. They said, JB, can you find me an architect, a person who's good on 3D renderings? Because I've got my investors who invest in buying houses, ramp them up big, and post them on Airbnb and whatnot. So can you help me find a person? We did that. That hire was 3,000 US dollars a month, and they won't let that guy out of their sight. Another person We helped them hire, like it was for $1,400 a month. Similar situation. The client was super pissed off because of one too many backfires from previous hires they did in person.
Yeah.
So we chimed in. We told them, we again listened to what they've been through, handpicked a few people. They took their time, hired that person, and it took them 15 days to decide who they want to go with. But when they hired that person now is earning 1,800 US dollars, and the client would simply say, JB, whatever you do, don't let this girl go, because she literally helped us build this operation from 4 properties to 10 properties now.
You know what I think's cool about all this is I was listening to Brandon Turner, the beardy branding guy
Yeah,
that
yeah.
started Bigger Pockets. He's got a podcast. I think it's called like Better Life Tribe.
Mhm,
And I was listening to his podcast this morning, and he was talking about this, and he was like, oftentimes people will go out and hire like their brother or their sister or their mother or mother-in-law or their neighbor or whoever, their friend, just because it's easy and convenient. And then oftentimes they regret it like, a few months down the road because of XYZ reason. And he went on to say, he's like, hey, look, there's like 1 billion people in the world. I don't know if that stats right, but sounds
mhm,
good. But there's like a
mhm,
billion people plus in the world. Why would you just default to your neighbor or someone down the street or whoever it is, your cousin,
mhm,
when there's 1 billion people of talent out there that you could go to, interview and get the best of the best of the best? And so I think
mhm.
that's your point is you're able to access the world essentially and get the best
Absolutely.
talent from anywhere based on your particular need instead of hiring your neighbor or your cousin or your sister. And so
Indeed.
I think that's a critical point that adds a lot of value.
Sometimes the clients start the business, especially the STR business, thinking, "Oh, I've got like a friend's house. He's ready to let me have that house, and we can make some cash. I know the process, I know the tech stack." And then down the line, 2 more people, and as I'm getting overoccupied with the operational stuff, hey, can you help me out? Make some easy bucks, and so that's where the problem starts. You go for the wrong talent. So, we try to make sure that we just don't let any client hire someone who's talking fancy. And trust me, I never rely on the resumes. Never do that. It's the body language, it's the mindset, it's your gut that tells you, okay, A, this person understands what they're talking about. B, they're good mindset, they want to be part of something which is either growing or at that state where it's scaling up. So whenever that happens, we try to just connect them with the right people, not just with anyone.
100%. And hey guys, for everyone that's listening, we're going to be doing Q&A in about 10 minutes. So be thinking of any questions or problems you're facing. Feel free to even post in the chat. Maybe Leslie or Emily, if y'all can go ahead and post in the chat just so people can see how they can do some of the comments. Be thinking about some problems or questions you have for the team. In about 10 minutes, we're going to be going into Q&A. But JB, go ahead and take it from here.
um, I'd like to say one thing here. Sometimes the clients have all the tech in the world that they think of. Hire, onboard your system on this PMS. You need, this task manager, this AI tool, that this and that and this and that. But none of the systems are integrated, or becomes too complicated to control. And Alina can, vouch for that. That we have seen clients using 3 different tools for one single thing, same
Yes,
job, 3 different tools, and they're paying subscription for that.
I still
One other
remember.
thing, yes. So
I still remember
Alina,
there was
what?
like, sorry,
Go
JB.
ahead.
So there was one
Mhm,
client, he was telling me when I asked him what your tech stack looks like, and he mentioned that I use Turno, I use Breezeway, and I use Trello. And that made me stop for a moment and I was like, okay, are you using all 3 of them at the moment? He mentioned yes. I was shocked because all 3 of these tools can work as a replacement of each other, alternative. You don't need Turner, Trello, and Breezeway at the same time. Breezeway can help you with all three tasks. Turner can help you get, cleaners on one place, source cleaners at, different places and arrange them. And then Trello, it works also the same way. These all are task management tools with the sourcing tools. You don't need all of them all together. And then when he was onboarded with us, we helped him get to one tool to manage all of the teams at one place. This actually was helping him cutting out the cost, managing all the people at the same place, getting out the reports from that same tool. So you don't have to pay for different tools to get one same thing.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I'd like to add here to what just Alina mentioned, that we've got Alina herself is a pro and literally a powerhouse when it comes to consulting and finding if the system that you've built is efficient and easy to run or not. And when she sees such things, she obviously helps the clients that how, hey, you need to take these three out, connect this one with this one, and you've got your everything in one place. You don't have to switch like multiple windows or have two phones in your hand all the time. Secondly, we've got a marketing department. They've built out certain different CRMs on Go High level. So your website is connected for marketing purpose. Your tools are connected with one place. You don't have to have like a ton of tech stack to make sure everything is in place. We've got an excellent automations expert who can look at the tools that you have and he can custom build some automation. So we try to not to use someone's and or any client's you know if they're stuck at something, we don't try to take advantage. We try to just help them get simplified, get more results and effective. That's what CS Outsource has been doing for the past 3+ years now. Alina, do we have another slide to go through?
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's about a few more slides. So knowing we want to do Q&A about 1:45, that leaves about 5-7 minutes left. So I would just focus on the things, the most important things. So that way we have plenty of time to actually dive into the Q&A.
hmm Obviously. So the slide says add doors without breaking operations. Again, simple. In our, I wouldn't call it a thumbs rule, but a good high quality, high caliber virtual assistant can easily handle or manage up to 30 properties given the right tools. And you add 30 more, uh, you get to have two people. We help them build teams that can either run 24/7 or dedicated people who can chime in whenever there is a need, cover the bigger portion of coverage that every business needs, and go from there. But in a physical office, obviously, anything that comes in, you need more desks, computers, more power, the extra stuff that goes into the office life and whatnot, and not to mention the office politics.
So
Right.
true.
Yes, sir. Response times, conversions, guest satisfaction, task completion. So everything can be quantified. Simple. It's not like someone is on their break or not. You set particular SLAs, like service level agreements. You let them know response time is let them less than 5 minutes. If you can do it in less than 1 minute, you get a bonus. Just making up hypothetical situation. Conversions, you know more than I do that whenever there's an inquiry and you don't respond in time, you lose the business because they're not looking at one property in one area. Guest satisfaction, that's something that Alina already covered. Faster the response, the better the care, it leaves a long lasting impression. Task completion, if you're on vacation with your family or friends or whatnot, you're not worried about your maintenance guy not showing up to clean up the pool or fix the washer or resupplying your the amenities at the property. So everything is quantifiable, everything can be delegated. That's what we have learned, and hence more stronger operations. Alina, I think that's the similar thing,
Same thing.
speed, cost,
Yeah.
scale. Yeah. Okay. Last but not the least, 650 plus clients. These are the clients who are happy with us, been with us for a year, 2 year, 3 year. We grew up very fast. We try to make sure that every new connection that we make is there to last, not like just to grab their money and just act like the regular recruitment agencies, and helping a lot of people around the world, like 1200 plus virtual assistant from Pakistan, from the Philippines, from vast majority from Latin America, Egypt, Morocco. And yesterday, one of our clients was, I have a team member who is from Egypt. And when he spoke to her and he said that I need specifically someone from Latin America, and he asked her, "Where are you from?" And she said, "I'm from Egypt." And he said that, "Oh, because you can talk this good, can you bring me more people from Egypt?" So lots and lots of people, lots and lots of talent. Client satisfaction is something which is a mindset. It's not like you can't just inject it in someone. So we try to do our training in-house to make sure the person understands what they're stepping into. And yeah, this is the important stuff. Marketing, we have a special team who is there to help out with all of your marketing needs: digital marketing, SEO, lead generation, cold calling, um, social media campaigns, and whatnot. All possible options that you need, and they have some stuff in their own pockets that can surprise you as well. Automations, I just said we have an amazing guy in the team. He runs a team of 5 people who can build you automations on your existing tech stack. Operational support, that's Alina's forte. She heads these 3 teams, 24/7, dedicated virtual assistants, and there is a backup team when your main VA is down for any reason, or they call it in sick. This VA team chimes in and keeps your operations going. 24/7 guest comms is again Alina's strongest suit, and accounting and bookkeeping as well. Our accounting department actually specializes in bookkeeping and accounting for STR operations specifically.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Sorry, Lena, were you going to say something else?
No.
Perfect. Well, hey,
I'm,
let's do this. Can you go back to that slide real fast?
yeah.
Let's use this as the launching point to Q&A, because I want plenty of time to dive into questions, because I have questions. So I want to dive
Absolutely.
into my questions, and I'm sure other people are thinking of these same things. But it sounds like these are the core 5 things that y'all focus on. And one of the questions that yours truly brought up that I will go and bring to the stage here is, let's go dive into QA with this first question. Anyone else, if y'all have got questions, go ahead and add them to the chat. But for your current customers, what are the top 1 to 2 reasons they work with you? What problems are they trying to solve? So out of these core things right here, like, what are the top 1 to 2 things, like bread and butter, like what is the low-hanging fruit that a lot of people work with you on?
Operational support, 24/7, bookkeeping and accounting.
If you had to choose one of those, what is the number 1 reason most people work with you?
Operational support.
Operations support. So that means more like guest communication,
Yes, sir. Guest
coordination
communication,
with.
the vendors, making sure you're well supplied in case any issue comes up. The person understands what course of action to take in case there is an emergency or a party going on. They should be able to call the local law enforcement or sheriff's office if that's required. So they are equipped with anything that can be done remotely. They are able to do it. Changing the remote locks, it's integrated now, but still, if they need to extend the time, anything that comes up, a guest forgot their very expensive AirPods, so they need to coordinate that to get that delivered back to them, something along those lines. So operational support is the highest number of
Okay,
client
cool.
support.
No, that's super helpful. And first of all, I didn't even know that. I don't think I knew until recently that y'all did more like marketing, even helping with like social media. Let's touch on that a little bit later, because I've noticed a trend towards investors needing to market their properties more than just Airbnb, VRBO, leveraging Instagram, paid ads, whatever. That's something we may want to talk about a little bit later. And I didn't know that you guys have VAs that could even support with that. So that's just something maybe we'll earmark for later. But good old
Absolutely.
Jordan Lightfoot, my buddy, also known as Costco Daddy. Reach out, look him up on Instagram. He is the Costco influencer. Asked a question: how quickly does it take for most VAs to catch up on SOPs for each property?
Depends.
Well,
Go
it
ahead,
definitely
Elena.
depends, but I'd love to answer the way you have set up your SOPs. The if it's like too easy to understand, the VA can get up to speed real fast. The way the SOPs are designed has more impact on how people perceive them. An SOP who has everything dumped in, you won't be able to see what is there and how to read that effectively. So if the SOP is made in a process step by step, it's very easy for the person to understand. And of course, then it depends on how much they spend time working and using those SOPs.
Cool.
It also depends on where your property is actually located, because sometimes it's a simple apartment, but sometimes you have a cabin in a gated community where if you don't register a guest or register their vehicle before time, they're not going to let them in. So if it was by accident, they had to change their license plates because the car rental had to change the car, you're going to run into a problem. So if you don't equip your VA to understand how to go through these hurdles before time, or they have a quick book to go to, revert back and understand what to do next, the less they're going to reach out to you to ask for any problems.
So, as an example, Jordan's got a property near Seaside, Florida, and so I don't know if he has an SOP or not. But would you work with him or other investors to create SOPs for these VAs? And do you have
Yes,
like
Absolutely.
that's
do
what
you
I
have like
do.
templates that you can even leverage?
We have
Like,
templates.
Absolutely.
We have different ways. The main goal here is not to, just make difficult for the operators to make SOPs. It's just make it easier for them to create SOPs. I have several ways that I just tell them to, okay, there are different ways you can give me your information. You can come on a call with me. You can send me a voice note. You can send me a recording. You can send me the process information. However, the information that you have in the script, you can in a scattered form, just send that over. I'm gonna give it a shape that would be readable. That would be good to go. You can give it a final look and let me know if this seems fine for you. If not, I can just do the tweaks.
gotcha. Okay. Well, cool. I've got another question. So we already kind of talked about how long it takes and like the SOPs and stuff. Let's talk a little bit about costs. I know it varies, and we showed that chart earlier of like kind of local resources versus offshore resources. But like for operational support, let's use me as the avatar. And JB, you know me from prior conversations. I'm having problems with guest communication, staying up to date on that. People are like, hey, what are the recommendations in Seaside? Like, what are the top places I need to go? Where's beach access? Do you have a propane grill or a charcoal? Like that stuff. Um, light coordination with cleaners. Just you know, a washing machine's broken, it's not working, need to coordinate with some appliance person, handyman, whatever. Like that type of stuff, what would you estimate as a cost for someone to help? And do you recommend like a Latin American person based on time zone or Filipino? Just what would your recommendation be for me? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are in my similar shoes.
I'd recommend, if you want to run your operations 100%, even up to 90% percent remote, I'd recommend a virtual assistant based out of either Egypt or primarily from Latin America, Bolivia or Argentina, to be in specific. They have some different kind of mindset for, but at the same time, I would recommend to onboard 24/7 support. Now, it's very important for me to clarify to our audience that um, dedicated VAs have to work through a particular schedule. You can have them work from 9 to 5, 10 to 6, 11 to 7, 6 days a week. That's good. But still, there will be one day they need to have an off. Secondly, when they log off, you can't just let your operations just stay. 24/7 team that Alina leads has limited scope. This is very important to understand. We don't want to set any wrong expectations. 24/7 team that's running all 7 days throughout the year is there with a limited scope. Guest communication, vendor management limited. They can go out of their way to help a person, just take a look at anything that requires. And in case there is an emergency and they don't have any protocol, they will call you, wake you up, and help. But the main primary dedicated virtual assistant will be there to take up all the things from ground up and have higher level of accountability.
Okay, so in this case, really my main problem is the 24/7 guest communication, which would be around the clock, and
Mhm,
that would include communication and vendor management as well?
mhm,
Yes.
Okay,
mhm.
so
Vendor
the
management means managing your cleaners, your handymen, your maintenance people. They will have the information of them and they can manage all of this. So this is what we call vendor
okay,
management.
so that would be the main pillar I'm looking at. And then separately, I could look at either increasing their workload to include one of the others or hiring another virtual assistant for bookkeeping or operational support that would be other things, right?
Absolutely. What it actually means having your dedicated VA, and if you have the 24/7 guest communication support, you can customize the plan with this team. And then, of course, it varies. When you're customizing your plan, you're adding an additional task for them. So it depends on how they work. So we can just,
Okay.
customize the
Just to
plan for
just
you.
to clarify one point here, when you go for a dedicated VA, say working 8 to 9 hours a day, 6 days a week, you actually can have them do whichever task that can be done remotely. You can hold them accountable for maintenance tasks. You can give them quarterly or half yearly or once a year tasks. They will be there to make sure every guest is taken care of. Reviews management, taking down reviews, even helping you set up your new tools or tech stack. But with the 24/7, they can handle guest comms, they can handle vendor management, they can handle emergency situations, but
Phone
won't be able to, go beyond that scale, these 3 points.
Gotcha. Well, so a couple final things, and it looks like we need to wrap up. It's getting a little closer to the end of the hour. Accounting and bookkeeping has been another major thorn for me over the past few years. Thankfully, before I met you guys, I was able to find a bookkeeper separately that is incredible. But I went through like 5 bookkeepers because the first 4 or 5, first 4 or whatever, good people, good human beings,
Mhm, mhm,
not good bookkeepers when it comes to short-term rentals, this niche that we're in. And that was a massive like problem. And as Leslie and my team know, like I'm very like visionary. I like to like stay out of the weeds. And I did
mhm,
not want to dive into the bookkeeping stuff. And finally, I found a good bookkeeper, and I like never want to lose her ever because she's
mhm.
amazing. But she's a local onshore resource, and it's more expensive. So it is what it is. But she's amazing. And so it sounds like you guys are recruiting some of the best talent around the entire world for bookkeeping. And one of the benefits are it's lower cost than even US cost for that. And they're trained up specifically on short term rentals, and they're familiar with things like QuickBooks, right?
Absolutely. QuickBooks, Zero, or any other thing. So, Matt, here's something very important. Bookkeeping is sensitive. We're handling your client data and your finances. So, we have helped a lot of clients hire bookkeepers and accountants remotely, but the main, the volume of client aid it is handled in-house. We've got our own computers, we've got our own people, our own power supply, our own expert ACCA qualified people or chartered accountants who are there to onboard people, first of all, train them up on STR specifically, and then when they're tested and vetted, only then we connect them with the clients, not to cause any mess up. So no
Yeah.
experimentation on any client, so to speak.
Yeah. So that, I mean, for those listening, that is extremely valuable because not only is it hard to find a good bookkeeper, but like I've gone through multiple and you commit to it, you're spending a bunch of money, then all of a sudden they get in there and they have no clue what they're doing with properties and categories and blah blah blah, and like it just becomes a nightmare. And so that one in particular is maybe one of the number one reasons y'all should reach out to CS Outsource. Thankfully I already have mine and I don't want to lose her. But I may, as I scale and grow and have more properties, I might need to talk to y'all about that too.
Of
But
course.
that's something that you guys should definitely talk to them about because that's a huge problem that can be solved, it sounds like, very easily. And then the final piece that I'll just mention real quick, I'm now starting to lean into Instagram paid ads and marketing for my properties. I just got, a bunch of Instagram accounts set up for these properties to really build personal brands around those. And the number one thing I'm thinking right now is like, well, I can do it or I need other people to do it. It's another operational problem, but it's hard to find good talent that's, that knows that niche really well. So I think for me as an action item is I want to hire you guys for number one, 24/7 guest communication, number one, period. So let's talk after this. I'm going to hire you guys for that. And then I'll report back to the community on how things are going. It'll probably go amazing. Number two, I don't need the bookkeeping and accounting right now because that's solved for me, but I think everyone else should talk to y'all about that. But once I get the 24/7 guest communication up and running, then I will probably want to talk to y'all about the marketing because I think it's not an urgent item, but it's a very important thing. It's like that, that I don't know if y'all have heard of that diagram that like urgent, important, important, not urgent. Well, whatever. That's one that's like not urgent, but extremely important. And the longer we wait on not properly marketing our properties outside of these platforms, it's just missed revenue opportunities. And it's these properties are long-term assets, if you think of them as long-term, that will just produce dividends over time. And
Absolutely.
so it's a long-term game plan that I think all of us should do to be extremely successful in this business long-term. So with that, I will wrap up. If you guys don't know where to start, you're stuck. Hey, we have started a free STR community. There's about 500 people in there, STR investors that are just like you that don't want to do this alone. And so if you don't want to do this alone, you want some great people in there to help you, and you can ask questions and learn and do all that stuff. Click that QR code, scan it, join the free community. It'll be a great place for y'all to start. And then CS Outsource, I think y'all have got an offer as well.
Yep. It's whoever signs up through this wonderful webinar on through strIQ, you guys get to have 10% off on your first 2 months of invoices. Regardless, it's 24/7. It's marketing and sales, bookkeeping and accounting, whichever service you opt for, you got the discount. And it's not like we'll make sure we live up to the expectation that everything will be all set. No experimentation, period.
I love it. Well, guys, I've made the commitment to go hire CS Outsource. So JB, I'm ready to roll, man. When you guys are, let's start with 24/7 guest communications. Show me what we need to do, make it happen. And what would be fun is I'll report to the community, let y'all know how things are going. And that way, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And I'm never going to have people on these webinars that I don't personally vouch for myself. And I know CS Outsource, they're legit. They're amazing. Matt, the owner, is a great friend. And so they are an incredible resource that I will personally be working with and encourage all of y'all to do as well. So thank y'all for joining. And JB, Elena, thank y'all for coming on. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thanks everyone for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.